morning, even more news. The first and only news podcast. I'm Robin Williams.
Oh, hey, Robbie.
Katy Stoll.
Oh, hey, Katy. I'm Cody. Welcome to the first and only first week in August of 2025. Ha, 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 ha. Hey, good morning, even more news. We're saying good morning to the show.
Jonathan.
Jonathan's also here.
Hi.
Took the words out of my mouth. Hi.
Yeah. You guys at home can't see this, but right before we started recording, Katy as Robin Williams, she went from Jack Nicholson to Groucho to Oprah. She was like a chameleon.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Jimmy Durante.
Erratic.
Ha, cha, 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 cha.
That one's true. That one we did get.
Here's my personal hot dog.
Yeah. What's going on, Jonathan?
Yeah, no, enough of that. Well, look, we got to talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Sure, you are all thrilled to talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics chief.
Yeah.
Or
well,
commissioner.
They've been pretty woke
fired.
lately.
Well, listen, they were doing some woke reporting about all the not great economy stuff. So the forecast was
Which is
for over
obviously
100.
a lie, right? Like, we can all look around and see they're lying.
Yeah, well, depending on what the numbers are, that's what the truth is. The forecast was for 100,000 plus new jobs, but they ended up coming in short. Only 70,000 new jobs were gained in July, and then previous months were revised downward. This is what the Bureau of Labor Statistics does. They get more survey responses, they get more information, and then they revise their old numbers. This goes both ways. Sometimes the number goes up, sometimes it goes down. That's just how it works. But of course,
That sounds
the
like
numbers,
a Schoolhouse Rock song.
Right.
Sometimes the numbers go up, sometimes they go down. That's how it works.
Yeah, simple
that's-
concepts.
I'm here to sing about how it works, or I guess how it used to work, because it will not work that way anymore.
Ah, shoot.
Because Erica McIntarfer was fired promptly by Trump for getting the numbers wrong. And now, wouldn't you know it, the entire right wing of the United States has always been on board that the numbers are unreliable. Listen, Biden was cooking the numbers too, even though they were revised in a way that didn't make him look great before the election. Whatever.
Is the president prepared to fire anyone who reports data that he disagrees with?
No, absolutely not. The president wants his own people there so that when we see the numbers, they're more transparent and more reliable. And if there are big changes and big revisions, we expect more big revisions for the jobs data in September, for example, then we want to know why. We want people to explain it to us.
All right, but bottom line, were the numbers wrong? Do you have any hard evidence that you can present to the American public that these numbers, these revisions that were reported, and there were plenty of revisions under former President Biden, including right before the election, do you have any hard evidence that these numbers were wrong?
Yeah, there is very hard evidence that we're looking at the biggest revision since 1968.
Are you going to present
if
that
you
evidence?
look at the number itself, it is the evidence.
But just
Yeah, it's not tracking. The conspiracy here isn't tracking for me.
they've been, I mean, it was part of, I think, even in 2020, it was part of his campaign to get rid of McIntarfer. It was like they had the signs, mass deportations now, get rid of McIntarfer. So this has been an issue for them.
They've
for a
been
long
banging
time.
this drum for a decade.
Yeah.
It's like Lock
years.
Her Up was really about Erica McIntarfer and not Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, exactly.
Cody, you sold that bit so well. I was
Dude, were
definitely
you
like,
like, wait,
what?
Yeah.
I missed that part of the RNC. No, it's clear corruption. It's the authoritarian playbook. It's he's going to try to put someone in there. I mean, it's not just the person running it. There is an entire Bureau of Labor Statistics, which
for now
does things the way they do them. And so, Sean Duffy is going to be put in there, or Marco Rubio, and they're going to say, numbers are good. Everyone has a job under President Trump, and they're going to have to find a way to make it look better. It's also interesting because I saw, and I wish I had it up, because someone on TV on Fox or Newsmax or whatever was making the argument of like, look, these are just the government jobs that disappeared. So the fake numbers are real, but in terms of, it's just these are all the fired federal workers. But if you do look at the numbers, that is not true. There were about 10,000 to 12,000 government jobs lost. So even if you got rid of all those, the number still would have come in below.
Correct me if I'm wrong, because you also, when you're interpreting this data or looking at other data as to where did jobs get added, what sectors, and there's virtually no movement in like manufacturing or any other kinds of jobs. The only growth was limited to a couple industries, but I believe healthcare, which is
healthcare,
almost ironic.
taking care of old people.
Taking care of old people should almost go without saying that that's for now anyway, especially since we are about to be kicking people off of health insurance, we're going to have hospital closures left and right. So remains to be seen if that kind of growth even remains.
Yeah, no, it's worth pointing out because manufacturing went down, mining and logging marginally went down. The economy right now is new healthcare jobs and AI data centers.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That was the other one,
yeah.
right?
Like, that's it. I mean, retail did go up, for now. Like, it's not like everyone just lost their job and it's the Great Depression. Like, that's the thing, is he's kind of flipping out, and this is just the beginning of the stuff happening.
Yeah, exactly.
We haven't even seen everything hit by a long shot.
It's a not good jobs report. It's not the end of the world. It's like a not good report that he could have just like, he can flip anything. He can just like spin something to be like, well, we'll try next month or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. But he's just going to make it so nobody ever believes any of these numbers ever again. And they're going to put out fake numbers. And we're going to be, one of the things that might happen, maybe everything's going to be fine, or we are going to go through a recession and he's going to be up there saying we're not. That's where this is heading. It's a tension between what people are actually experiencing and what the government is not doing to help, and all of this stuff going wrong while he says, but actually, like, my new numbers guy says it's great. And it's just going to be that tension just pulling on itself.
Sounds familiar.
Oh.
The things going wrong and being told that everything's good.
Well, what's that? Yeah, what's that like?
It's a bad jobs report. Right. This happens. As we've already established, despite what anybody might from the other side might say, this happens. We get the reports out and things get revised all the time. And that's not partisan. He can spin it. He can choose to say whatever, blah, 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 move past it. Instead, making such a big deal of it makes me more scared.
Yeah.
It makes me feel like you're overcompensating. You're extra angry.
It's the McIntarfer effect. He's McIntarfer affecting himself.
Yep.
You're making it worse, bro.
I mean, we've already mentioned this, but it's just so plainly disgusting, authoritarian, and dangerous of like, oh, we're going to fire this person. They're fake. And now we're going to hire our own person and we're going to put out fake numbers. Like the actual like thing that's going on is so... It's one of those like, oh, we got to talk about the Bureau of Labor Statistics now and this woman, and it's like, no, it's actually extremely messed up. And I can believe it. Obviously, I believe everything that happens because it's reality.
I mean, as Joe Biden and Kamala Harris learned, if people aren't feeling like the economy is going well, it doesn't matter what even the real numbers were like, oh, GDP's up. And people were like, well, the GDP isn't really like trickling down to my world where things are getting more expensive and my wages aren't going up, even though I know they did in many respects. Like, don't Will Stancil me here. Like, I do get it. But I think he can only run away from this so long. One, I don't know how easily it's going to be to just have the Bureau of Labor Statistics pump out a bunch of fake numbers. Yeah. If they fire everyone who does it, they're going to have to just put people there who aren't statisticians.
Oh, yeah.
Like, even if you get like who don't know
Sean
even
Duffy,
where to look to how, it obviously we can just say, oh yeah, they'll print out like they can ask ChatGPT and put that out, but it'll be very obvious they're doing that. No one's going to look at it. And then if we do go into a recession, people feel that in their lives. You will still have MAGA people claiming that everything's great and telling each other everything's great in the breadlines or whatever. But out there in the world, like, people are going to feel it and recognize it. Not that it matters, I guess. Yeah. But if voting goes away, but you know what I'm saying. The reality seeps in. You can't like slop over.
Yeah. Even if, like you said, like they can try, according to Gunther Eagleman, where I get all my news, in 2 to 3 days, they're going to appoint somebody else. There'll be a loyalist of some kind whose job is to cook the books. But as you're saying, like there are other people who work there. And even if they replace everybody there or fire everybody or get rid of everybody, there are people who look at this in other organizations who are going to still be looking at these numbers and looking at and trying to release actual information. So they can't just hide it all completely.
Yeah, like this isn't causing such a rift in the markets the way firing Jerome Powell would, but he can only upset the business interests of this country so much. He can upset any other group for a long time, but Goldman Sachs, he has to kind of keep happy. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting is gone. It doesn't exist.
What about viewers like me, though?
No, viewers like you don't exist anymore. I guess viewers like you can still support it, but viewers like you can't make up a $1.1 billion shortfall, or at least didn't.
I can't.
So that is on you. It's on viewers like you, really, for not donating $1.1 billion. So NPR and PBS still exist right now. Don't worry. It's not the whole thing. As we've talked about before, this is going to mostly impact rural communities. Those smaller PBS stations, those smaller NPR networks are going to have a real hard time keeping up without public support. I'm pretty sure here in LA, KCRW and KPCC will be okay. I don't think any NPR station's ever doing great financially.
It doesn't
But they do rely on donations, and those are big cities with lots of people that support them. So you might see a change in programming over time or see the effects of this. But no, those aren't the places that need our immediate concern. It's for the public radio stations all across this country that are the only option for residents, where there aren't lots of programs, news stations, news publications, what have you. And it also is vital for getting information about the weather, about disasters, floodings, different things that you should be aware of that you rely on your local news to provide information for. So again, this is once again an example of this administration hurting its own voters.
But they don't want those people to have accurate information.
Right, they don't. But
ties
ultimately,
this into the last story.
But yes,
it works both ways. They got rid of the wokeness, so they're happy that woke PBS and Elmo are dead, and then they also have less information. So
Elmo never dies. Elmo lives in our hearts.
Okay.
I mean, Elmo's going to be on Netflix.
Yeah, no.
After Elmo
lives on
HBO
Netflix.
Max.
Yeah.
Or is going to.
Then eventually Elmo will be on Peacock, and then Paramount Plus, and then Showrunner from Disney and Amazon, and you'll be able to have Elmo say whatever you want.
And then they'll fire whoever does Elmo, and it'll just be an AI fluff piece. One facet of the Trump administration that doesn't feel like it's been pushed back against that much is their media ecosystem takeover. Like they're basically just trying to shut down relatively non-biased outlets or what they consider liberal outlets. And though they will get replaced with Sinclair stuff in those
Coke
rural
TV.
communities.
Yeah.
Here in California, they just announced they're doing a New York Post for LA. There's going to be called the California Post, and there's going to be like a new sloppy newspaper out there doing Hunter Biden's laptop stuff. So for anyone who wants it,
I don't like it.
No, I don't want that here at all. I like keeping a distance from all that New York schlock.
Yeah. Sorry, folks.
Anyway, Speaker Mike Johnson says promises made, promises kept. The days of the American people being forced to fund biased political outlets are over. I mean, I feel like NPR is one of those outlets when I listen to Morning Edition or something where they really go out of their way to give the other side a fair shake to avoid the allegations, which they were never able to avoid no matter what they did.
They try
but
so
I would
hard.
hear interviews with Republican members of Congress and not get the pushback that I would expect from that kind of an outlet.
It's extra frustrating because I'm not surprising anybody with anything I'm about to say. This war on truth, this idea that you could be just reporting facts, but that's considered a bias. And it's frustrating because then you're going like, I guess it is a bias because we're against what they're saying, but it's not a bias. It's just the facts. We're just trying to say that. And NPR of any place does go out of its way to accommodate all voices. I mean, I remember listening to Left, Right, and Center a lot sitting in LA traffic. Perfect example.
It's a frustrating listen,
Creating a
actually,
space.
often.
And also, maybe, honestly, Donald Trump, in the era of Donald Trump, sucks up all the oxygen in any room. But NPR is a very robust and eclectic programming that also is about arts and culture
Well,
and
that's
society.
woke
And
stuff.
so,
Yeah, we don't care about art or culture
apparently,
anymore.
but it's very galling to realize here we are. This is what we've been talking about for like 10 years now, this troubling trend. And public, and it's interesting, the spin. Okay, your taxpayer dollars are, going towards this biased media thing. It's like, no, our taxpayer dollars should be going towards keeping our electorate informed, keeping people safe and informed and entertained. And it's a beautiful thing, actually. It's an incredible thing. Instead, it has been absolutely ruined. Just the concept of it. And it's very depressing. I don't have anything positive to say here.
Yeah.
Other than NPR and PBS are not dead yet, per se. But this is...
Yeah, they'll gut it, make it worse. They'll eventually replace it with something even worse. And I mean, honestly, they might have something called like Trump would love to have a nationwide propaganda arm. Like it's that thing where
like
they're
Fox
like,
News?
well, this is what like you're doing your biased like PBS and stuff, and like all the things you said, Katy. It's all the different aspects of NPR and PBS and the things that they do, but what they want is their own propaganda arm that can be funded,
And they're going to fund it way better than they ever funded the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. Like Mike Johnson pretends it's kind of about the money, but like they could have given ICE $26.9 billion and then given $1.1 billion to the Corporation.
Exactly.
For Public
It's not about the money. They don't care. They just think they have this view that like this is far left propaganda, so we need to destroy it and replace it with our right wing propaganda. Ultimately, is what they're.
And they
Cut
have a
CBP,
propaganda.
not CPB.
How many Fox News hosts have jobs in this administration?
Oh, too many.
I mean,
Most.
we got Pete Hegseth, Janine Pirro. counts.
Counts now. Yeah.
You don't even have to answer that question. The point
Duffy.
is, we already have. They already have their state-run media apparatus. Essentially, there's a real direct pipeline. From Fox
and they
News.
They complain all the time, like, well, you go from MSNBC to the Democratic Party, and this, like, the critique they make is literally just what they are doing and do.
Yeah, are we still pretending Fox is the only one who'll just give it to you straight? Like, even the people who watch Fox admit that they're getting their slant on it, right? Do they think that's the unbiased outlet and there is no right-wing outlet except for Newsmax
I was gonna say probably
Real
one,
America's Voice?
or one news network,
OAN,
or whatever. One America,
Right Side Broadcasting Network, one of those 20 other things that they have. And we've got, this show and the other shows.
There aren't any other shows, Jonathan.
Not other news shows, but there are other left-wing culture, art, society shows. All right, shall we talk about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein?
I guess.
Those two.
We have to.
So
we have to always talk about it.
We mentioned earlier how, news happens all the time, and then we're like, gosh, we should talk about this sort of text thread. I feel like there's a side text thread going on where every day there's an update on this one question that Trump keeps kind of answering but not being able to in a way that makes any sense. that seems more and more damning every single day. And like literally every day I'm like, well, he was asked again about this and it still doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's garbled nonsense. And we really have tried to parse it. We've gone like, wait a minute. So is he saying this? So the background.
You're all like, you're like, to your credit, you're, like every time there's a new answer, he's like, okay, the generous interpretation is this.
Yes.
And you always offer the generous interpretation, but the generous interpretation is still weird and bad.
The generous interpretation is bad because what he's saying now, what he said unprompted was that the falling out with Epstein was because people were being stolen from him. Then when he was asked, is one of those people Virginia Giuffre, who worked at a spa at Mar-a-Lago, he said, I think so.
Did one of those stolen, persons, does that include Virginia Giuffre?
I don't know. I think she worked at the spa. I think so. I think that was one of the people, yeah. He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know.
And I have one of the best spas and talked about it. He has the best spas anywhere in the world. And so then he suggested that the falling out was based on people being stolen, like 16-year-old girls being quote unquote stolen from Epstein to do something because Epstein did not own a hotel or
Didn't
whatever.
have
be
a spa, yeah.
Right. So the most generous thing you can say about Trump, at least given his garbled answers, is that in the year 2000, he was upset that Virginia Giuffre was quote unquote stolen. And then 2 years later gave the quote to New York Magazine about what a great guy Jeffrey Epstein is and how he likes girls on the younger side. And then the next year sent him the birthday card, which is fake. And then 4 years after that, in like 2007, then he severs ties when he does it again. But then was that what he was doing? Or like Trump has never been forthcoming about what he thought Epstein was doing after that. Did you know?
What did they steal her to do?
What was going on?
So the most generous thing you can say is that, well, he knew Epstein was sexually assaulting these girls and did nothing about it.
For
Right.
about 6 or 7 years.
For a very long time.
Yeah, it's very weird because also originally, and it does seem like he just wasn't prepared for any of this and thought it was going to go away. He thought he wasn't going to have to deal with the Epstein stuff once he was finally in this position. And this narrative of like their falling out, he didn't seem to ever like bone up on or like know or think about it because there was the real estate issue that was brought up, and that was like 2004 or 5 or something like that. And then there was the claim that it's because it wasn't even he was stealing, which is also just a gross way to frame it.
This is an important thing that you just highlighted, which is the use of the word stealing. I don't know if you saw Virginia's brother speaking about this as well, and it's like she wasn't stolen, she was preyed upon. Stolen is an object. You steal an object, right? Not a human being. It's like it's so dehumanizing and disgusting, as I guess, and like so flippant. Like, he kept stealing my girls. It's revolting, and it should say everything about this man and what he thinks about women and about this situation.
And it's about how he views employees generally. Because what I was sort of getting at is that like he has this sort of narrative that he's kind of stumbling upon. Like, okay, well, in 2000, the claim was like that Epstein like hit on a member's daughter, and that was what like did it. And so there are these business things, and then this like, oh, you like hit on a member's young daughter, like you can't be here anymore. Like those were the narratives going on, and he didn't know any of that. And so he's asked about this. He didn't say during all of these. I think he's been asked about this like 6 times at this point. He didn't say that Epstein was like stealing or like preying upon young girls. He said, oh, he like stole my people. He was talking about it like they were his employees. Right. He wasn't alluding to anything. He was just sort of saying like, no, he had a falling out because like Epstein was like poaching his staff, basically, is what he was saying. It took other reporters to be like, were some of them underage girls? And like even that was like a lot of crosstalk, and they would ask him that and he'd be like, yeah, I think so, maybe. And then like later they ask him again, like, okay, it was one of the underage girls, Virginia. And it was this sort of like long process of getting to this claim that he never actually really made. His original answer was, yeah, he's poaching my staff.
Yeah, he has never said the hitting on his member's daughter thing, right?
No.
Did he ever specifically say that?
That
It's
no, that was
interesting, 'cause
never
that was
not
the talking point.
that
for
was the
so
claim.
long.
Recently, anyway.
That was it might have been in like a Michael Wolff interview maybe or something like that.
Right, and that guy, I would love to believe everything that guy says, but I do not.
But he's obviously trying to make money.
When he first was saying, "Oh, they were taking my staff," it was still in a way where it could have been like executives or something.
Yeah,
he
and that's what
specifically didn't say like underage spa workers, which. How would you, like, were you intimately familiar with these 16-year-old girls who worked for you? Wouldn't you be like, no, I'm a jet-setting billionaire. Yeah, I know I have a great spa, but I'm not like, I don't know those
You have
young
businesses
girls.
all over the world. You don't know your staff.
It's bizarre.
Not in that way, yeah. It's just very weird.
It's bizarre, and he, of course, now he's just pretending, either he legitimately can't hear these questions or he's pretending he doesn't know the question.
Yeah, I don't understand your question.
And of course, he's going to get the question more because he just transferred Ghislaine Maxwell to a minimum security facility, which she was not eligible for because she's a convicted sex trafficker.
Yeah.
And so maybe he's testing the waters for full pardon and maybe he'll get away with it, but it stinks to high heaven.
I'm starting to have a little more faith that this has sticking power. Obviously, it's still around. I'm like, it does seem to be a problem for him. Maybe. I mean, look, I'm not going hard in the paint on this opinion, but I'm baffled and looking around in amazement at the mistakes he keeps making. And there are certainly a lot of people, more and more people carrying his water for him out there. But I don't think it's going away. I think that Ghislaine Maxwell being moved to a minimum security prison and the people bending over backwards starting to say like, oh, she's a victim in this. No, she's an abuser. She was a sex trafficker.
Well, and Virginia Jeffrey said that she partook in the abuse part as well.
She was an abuser too.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's obviously a monstrous person. I will see. I'm concerned a little bit even with some of the way that people who even are like, but I do care about the Epstein list. I care about the files. I like release the thing, and it's weird how Trump's acting. They still seem to don't seem to talk about it in a way where like, yeah, like you hit him on the Epstein stuff. Like, yeah, obviously like there's something weird going there. But do you actually think so? Because there doesn't seem to be any sort of like, oh, he's clearly in the files and that's bad. It still seems to be this sort of weird narrative of like, he needs to release them. And it's weird that he's not. Like there's no, it just seems like an issue that might stick around, but not in a way that will actually like pull people from it because of just some of the way I've seen so many of like the punditry talk about it and frame it in this sort of, it's very compartmentalized. It's like, oh yeah, like it's weird he's not doing the files. Like hit him on that. That's weird. He's friends with Epstein. But they don't take it the next step. Like, but why was he? And isn't that bad? Don't you think that this makes him a monster? But we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Also, I don't disagree with you.
And even like, it's not like testing, like seeing where the wind is blowing is like always helpful in certain circles. Like what does Benny Johnson say? But like, Tim Pool talking about the South Park episode and like, oh, they didn't make fun of, they only made fun of Trump because he's orange or whatever. And it's like, that's not true. You didn't watch the episode, whatever. But even Tim was like, hit him on the Epstein stuff. Yeah. Like have him be like, promising the list, but then he goes down in the basement and Epstein's there and they're hanging out and stuff. It's like, okay, so you think that they fucking hung out and are pedophiles, but you're still all in for this guy. So what do you, it's very performative, it seems, in a lot of ways of like, well, I know we're supposed to care about this.
Yeah.
But again, people might care about it more than this. I don't know. It's just, it's a very weird phase right now where it seems like they're not sure, do we have to, is this going to be a thing or not?
I think that they're really hoping it goes away.
They are.
I think that they want that, but like I think that there is this limbo of both. I really hope this turns out to not be true. I feel very uneasy about it, and also in the meantime, let's get as much as we can done that horrific things that we want pushed through.
Yeah.
Like I think maybe
because you have, like you alluded to, one of these Newsmax guys, the guy who's Greg Kelly, he does a Trump impression on Newsmax basically. We pointed this out about, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, him saying, granted she hung out with Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she could be a victim, is what he said. And then like 2 days ago, he's out there being like, Epstein, he pled guilty to that horrible sick stuff, but that doesn't mean that Ghislaine Maxwell is guilty. And there's a hell of a lot of evidence out there that she's innocent. That's what they're saying now.
That's the thing now.
That's the line.
So that it's good to pardon her, and so everything she says can be trustworthy. Like, I do think Trump would like to redact himself from everything and release what they have, but I think if they just redact names, it would be very, very clear which name is Trump. And so they're going to have to redact entire pages, which is bad as well. So I do think they're in a spot where...
You've seen that his name is redacted just so many times, or is that fake news?
Well, they obviously had the FBI. They had all these people scouring through hundreds of thousands of pages of documents to redact him everywhere. But I don't think that's going to be enough, because it's going to be redacted, met with Epstein at his redacted club in redacted Florida. Like, the whole page is going to have to go. He's all over this guy for a decade.
So much more than that. The period of like, well, I kicked him out, and then 7 years later we had a falling out. Like, it's
and
a
then
long
they're going to
time.
have to redact everyone. They're going to have to redact Bill Clinton as well, because if it's redacted, but then here's all the Bill Clinton pages, you're like, okay, well then it's not him. So
exactly.
So
who's the redacted? Yeah,
right.
Former President Bill Clinton and President blank. Like, what are you going to do?
President Barack Obama. Clearly,
exactly.
But when he was working as a community organizer, Obama was all over this.
How's that Obama conspiracy trial going?
They are.
Has he been arrested?
Well, no, that's not happening. But they're still all over that. This is a huge thing lately. Immediately, anytime some piece of news comes out that's bad for the Trump administration, there will be people just ready to go saying, well, what about Biden? Biden did the same thing. They're acting like Biden was the fake labor statistics thing. He just had his own. And so they've even invented a coup that took place in 2017 before there. So they've retconned a coup that they can say, like, well, you guys did the coup first because Obama didn't release the thing that we all knew about, right? Like, they are trying to get anything bad they're doing and just point to, like, well, the Democrats did it first. They're doing it with redistricting, which we haven't talked about, and we're going to get to in another show. But, like, they're doing that with redistricting. They're saying, well, like, the Democrats have done it
Democrats
first.
Invented it, and they do it all the time.
Yeah.
They did, and it's a new issue that it's absurd.
It's so enraging. It's really difficult to keep my blood pressure under control. I don't know. I just feel my heart rate go up all the time.
Just putting a button on all this stuff, I guess. This
for now
bizarre narrative for now, to the point of, like, they don't care actually, and they're hoping that enough people don't care. The month that Elon Musk tweeted that Trump was in the Epstein Files, he also gave $15 million to Trump's PAC. So I don't think he cares about the Epstein stuff. I mean, of course he doesn't. It's just one of those things where it's like, so you, like, had this falling out over something else, then accused him of being a pedophile, and then gave him $15 million
to try to get back in the good graces.
Yeah. They're all pathetic.
How's his political party going? Are they making waves?
Yeah.
The Tesla board just gave him, like, tens of billions of dollars so that he will stay and do the CEO of the company thing that he's supposed to do.
Cool.
Well, they're going to make 5 billion robots next year, so they got to get going now.
Well, they can just replace us. Maybe we can get those We got to fast track voting rights for those robots.
If we make $5 billion robots in 1 year, and we charge $5,000 each, that's trillions of dollars right there.
If everyone buys 1,000 robots, then there would be 8 trillion robots we will be able to deliver by 2042.
Can you imagine a trillion robots doing everything for you?
This is like the battle droid scene in Phantom Menace.
Have you seen?
I know the memes from Phantom Menace.
Now this is starfighting. Remember from the movie?
Well, folks, I think we've done it.
Elon.
I think we're at the end of our show. We're hovering around 40 minutes here. We'll cut it down. But as
just Kissinger doing Musk.
These boys aren't letting me end the show.
Annie.
I just want to keep
Annie. Then
that Watto guy was a little bit weird, wasn't he?
My favorite's Kit Fisto from he's
the guy with the long. Is he the guy with the really long neck?
Yes, he's totally wizard.
Thank you guys for joining us. It's been fun. It's been real fun. Hey, guess what? We love you very much.
Watto.